We're here in Colombia on our last day on Peter Chinche launch, and we're on our way to the airport. We've had a really fantastic 2 weeks, and we've been exploring all the different equipment that we brought with us, so watch out for that soon. And today what we thought we'd try and do is we're going to try and fly together, and it's probably going to be a short flight because we're on our way to the airport, but we thought we'd try and give you some tips along the way and see what we can tell you about what we're doing in the air.
So at the moment, looking a little bit cloudy and quite hazy, so a little scratchy. There are gliders climbing, but some struggling as well. So what we're going to do is take off and do our best to show you how to work the weak lift and climb out and get up. And then we're going to head out. We've got a little task, 15 k's upwind, to land on the edge of airspace on the way to the airport to maximise the flying. So, Nancy, you ready?
Ready?
Let's go.
Come fly with us.
Okay. I'm just taking off, gliding out. You see some climbing a little bit to my right, but very weakly. Angelique below, climbing weakly. There's a bit of lift. Probably should have turned in that last bit of lift. Hopefully I will get some more. I can see above me Huisbert gliding and Greta out front. Just flown through another little bit of lift, but I can see a couple of vultures climbing out front. So rather than turning in that lift which didn't feel good enough, I'm going to risk pushing out a little further and see if I can get into that thermal these birds are in. You won't be able to see them, but just in front of me, a few vultures climbing gently. Should really have worked the climbs on the ridge a bit more. Kind of thrown all my eggs into one basket a bit here. And I'm not getting it. Nancy was well below me, is now above me, so she's found something there. I'll go back and see if I can catch her climb. Going into it. Just got to get myself into the climb, and now crank it round. I've got Angelique behind me. And I've got a fairly weak bubble. That's a little bit better. 0.5, 0.6. Now as I'm coming around, it's quite a small little cord. You see I've dropped out at the back of it there. To come around here, I'm feeling a little push and shove from the harness, and then I try and turn nicely on that little bit of lift. Got Angelique coming in from the side, so I'll give her enough space. So turning a little tighter there to make space for Angelique so she can come and join me behind me in the thermal there. Great, so she's coming in, and now we can turn round. Lovely. Woohoo! Yippee! Angelique just on the opposite side of the thermal to me. I just dropped out of the side of it a little bit, so I'm readjusting my position to try and get myself nicely in the best bit of lift. And there, oh, I just straightened up a little bit too long with these very small little bubbles. This idea of straightening up for several seconds really doesn't apply. You kind of turn as soon as you feel the little shove like there, you kind of turn to keep your glider right on it. Got Angelique turning there, which is great, so I'm going to turn to make sure we stay together. Now I've dropped out of the back of the thermal, so Angelique's done brilliantly, don't come up nicely, so I'll come back round to join in the thermal. And now it's not safe for me to cut inside there. I need to go with Angelique, follow her around in this lovely thermal. Lovely Colombian thermal. Whee! So now Angelique's gone a little bit wide. Dropped out there, so I'm turning a little sooner this time. I'm joining up with Nancy. White and blue glider. So as I'm going round, as well as feeling the bits of lift, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the other gliders very closely. Most importantly, of course, to keep safe and avoid them. That's the #1 priority, of course, always. But also to see who's going up and down. As soon as I see somebody going up, relative to me, then I know they're in a better bit of lift than I am. So I try and readjust my circle to mix with them. And there again, there's that little shove in the core. And I'm tightening up, because this is a small thermal, I'm tightening up on the core rather than widening up, which I do on a bigger thermal. Great. Ooh, lovely. So now we have Lawrence. He's coming to join Lawrence. He's coming to join our thermal. So again, all I'm doing is, well, there you can see I dropped out of the thermal. So now I'm having to readjust, straighten up a bit. You can see ahead of me, Angelique is climbing nicely. So I'm flying a little bit in her direction. Come back into the thermal. Feels like this thermal's weakening at the moment. So now you have to try and work out, is that because it's dying or because there's an inversion? Today looks fairly unstable, so it's probably not an inversion. There's a bit of lift there. So I'm recentering. It's like this lift, for whatever reason, is readjusted, recentered. So coming back round, Nancy's done the same, and so's Lawrence. I'm going to widen my turn to let Lawrence to come around in front of me, otherwise we're going to get in each other's way. I wanted to turn there, but that would have cut Lawrence up, which isn't very nice. So I'll just come wide, come back round into the thermal like so. Okay, I didn't climb quite as optimally as I would have done, but I'm still in the thermal. We're having a lovely time, just enjoying ourselves. Yippee!